Welcome to the Knowledge Today channel. When you hear the word chainsaw, you probably think about lumberjacks chopping wood or gory horror movies. Chances or childbirth is not something that springs to mind. Yet, medics are now reminding people about where chainsaws really originate from, which is sure to make your stomach churn. It turns out these monstrous devices were actually invented for bringing babies safely, yes safely, into the world. Before the common use of the C-section, all babies had to be passed through the birth canal. However, as we know, babies can become obstructed in there if they are breech or too large. When babies couldn't fit through or they would get stuck in the pelvis, parts of bone and cartilage were removed to create more space for the baby. The procedure, which was known as a symphysiotomy, was originally performed by hand using a small knife and saw to remove the bone. And to make things worse, this was all done without anesthesia to a woman in the middle of giving birth. It took a long time and it was messy and obviously painful. However, in the 1780s, in a bid to make the removal of the pelvic bone easier and less time-consuming, two doctors named John Aitken and James Jeffrey invented the chainsaw. You're probably picturing those enormous tree-chopping devices we use nowadays, but the original was much smaller. It looked like a modern-day kitchen knife with little teeth on a chain that wound in an oval. The tool was a success and it continued to be used for most of the 19th century. It was even used for other bone-cutting operations and amputations during surgery until medical advances saw it phased out. It then evolved into a wood-chopping tool when people realized how quickly and easily it was to get through, well, anything. It became larger and more powerful and eventually grew to be the brutal device we know today. Symphysiotomies are no longer performed but sometimes still happen in third world countries where an operating room for a cesarean section is unavailable. They gave me gas and air and an injection, and took me to another room, where they tied my legs up on each side, a woman in Ireland told The Guardian, referring to her 1981 procedure. There were two nurses on each side of me. I saw this doctor at the end of my bed with a big, long silver thing. They made a hole in your private parts, and he inserted this silver thing up and cut the pubic bone and pushed it over to widen your pelvis for you to deliver your baby yourself. So next time you see a chainsaw, you know where it really came from.